So, Hans, obviously you've been in the industry of movie reviews for quite some time, 25 years plus in the press reviewing. I mean, what started off?
Oh, yeah. I've done it all my life. I've been lucky enough as a journalist working for newspapers in both Australia and here in Christchurch. I've usually managed to get myself to be the film, even when I was when I was reporting, young reporter as a cadet, I used to do it in those days. So that's always been a wonderful thing to have, and even I was at the press newspaper here and did over 30 years there. But after I left there, I didn't want to lose it. And so I thought, well, start off my own half-hour show on Plains FM. And the whole point is, it's nice to sort of get into the movies for nothing, for one thing. But that is, the main point is that it keeps me in touch with so many of the film people who I've sort of known or dealt with in one way or another all of my life, but particularly the New Zealand film makers, the film directors and all the actors, and I could still get them on my show. Now I just see the top twins on TV and say, ha, they've been in there with me. And this applies to so many other people, that I can't. It's a wonderful thing to be able to continue to have that contact with this world and to find out about what they're up to, what their next film is going to be, and where they're going to do that, or what have they been up to over the last 12 months. All of this is always wonderful stuff, and I never want to lose that.
I hear that your connection with the film world's taken you to some pretty incredible places, even to the Cannes Film Festival in person. And
oh yeah. I've been there 3 times actually. This is while I was still working for the press newspaper, and got over there, and you'd managed to get quite a few good interviews and with top film stars. I'm quite often there. It's not quite the same. You wouldn't get into personal interviews because there are so many journalists from all over the world there. There's hundreds of us there. Yeah, the actors just couldn't do individual interviews with anyone, but you'd go and see a film. This used to be a day there. You could go and see a movie which started at about 8 or 8:30 in the morning. This is for the journalists. And then there was an interview with the main actors and the director after that. And that was the start of the day, every day. And, and so so it wasn't a personal interview, but you'd be in there. I've done 2 with them. So people like Clint Eastwood and Robert Redford and all of these people, they'd be in and out, and the English actors as well. It used to be, and I used to sort of hang out at the New Zealand Film Commission offices quite a lot, because there's always local New Zealand people in and out of there, so you get to know them also, and they'd tell you what was happening and all this. Through that, I met Peter Jackson. This is long before, with his first film that was Bad Taste, and that goes back to about 1989 and 1990 or something like that. And at that time, I still wasn't too sure whether this was ever going to be a major movie, but I've known Peter ever since then. I can't say in the last few years, so since he became a sir, he's sort of, this it gives you these wonderful contacts, and you could even tell in those days, seeing the first film at 8 o'clock in the morning or something, well, you'd get to see about, let's say, 3 films in a day. Reasonable day, but Peter'd come up and say, oh gosh, I've seen 4 or 5 films today. I said, 5? How could you get 5 films? You can't, did you eat it all? You can't squeeze that many films into one day. And you said, oh yes, I saw Vampires in Venice at midnight. So that was his last movie, film. But exactly, and it had to be something like Vampires in Venice. I've never even heard of that film before, which he's seeing at midnight. So it's a wonderful world in that way.
Mm. Oh, well, and have you ever scooped in a major star for a personal interview? You ever managed to get that, or?
For personal interviews? Well, this is it again, when you're doing interviews with overseas stars, a large number of them are actually just basically telephone interviews. Sort of like somebody like Judi Dench and this kind of thing, But we used to have done lots of these people. They'd phone me at my home, or depending on the time of day, because if they're in England, their time's at the other side of 12 hours different to your own. You'd get, of course, get a lot of these, but then again, it's you get to meet quite a lot. I'm thinking back a few years now, of course, but there used to be somebody like Glenda Jackson. She used to be a major English actress, and now she's a politician, Labour Party politician. Last time I spoke to her, the time I spoke to her was here, and she was over here for to help local Labour Party elections and this sort of thing, She's promoting that. And you get talking to them, and you always learn these, because she's won at least 2, maybe it was 3 Oscars. And she has gone into despises the film industry now. She's into politics so much. She's an MP in England. Nothing to do with that. She won't have anything to do with Hollywood. It doesn't even want to have anything to do with her own Oscars. She hides them away in a cupboard under the steps. And they're not out on the shelf or anything for everybody to see. They're purposely hidden away. But so, you learn all these little secrets out of different people's lives.
Oh, wow. And I've also heard that you're willing to go the extra mile for some of these interviews. Did you chauffeur Temuera Morrison?
Well, that was the same. Yeah, well, I'm doing this. This is sort of the wonderful thing about working here and doing the show on Plains FM. We record this on Tuesday. It goes on air on the Wednesday, but mainly New Zealand actors, when they come to town, they come in here and we do our little interview. But I've sort of worked that out quite cunningly to always have my car parked outside, because I've found over the years, these people, they're in town, they're in not their own town, they've always got to go somewhere else. And so I got the car. They might have to take them to another radio station. It's either another radio station or to the airport. And and that's happened twice this year. There's Temuera Morrison was here earlier this year for Mahana. That's a wonderful Maori film. And, of course, as it happened, I just had that car. Oh, you got to go to the airport now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't mind? No, I don't mind. And the same, just before that, there was that Cliff Curtis. He was in the film The Dark Horse. And that, again, he wanted to go. He was going to the airport afterwards, so I took him there. And actually, it's nice to be able to say, that you've sort of taken these people, that these people have sat in my pokey little white car, and then I can sort of take them off to the airport. But I mean, these are all just the personal things. My overall satisfaction is just, I'm here to communicate, to let people know about films. So I get the best. I do. It's not just a one-way interview, just with me. It's sort of a review. It's an interview with another person, usually a specialist on whatever the film. If it's a musical, or if it's about politics, or if it's about economics. Or today I had one of the lecturers from the CPIT down here. She's an art teacher, lecturer there, Dorla Powley, and she did Goya Visions of Flesh and Blood with me. So, I get the best people that I can find to give their opinions on films. And again, we give both our opinions. We have a discussion. So it's an informative thing. We're not just here to say, no, this film was wonderful, you've got to see it, or this film's a lot of rubbish, don't see it. Because, the best way to do that is sometimes you get some crazy action film for which I'll get a teenager in who I know will enjoy this particular film, get him to review it. But I personally might have thought it was just a little bit too heavy going and in your face, and all this sort of thing. And so I can have an argument with them about it, and he'll say how wonderful it is, and I'll say what a lot of nonsense it was. I'd never even understood the plot. The film was moving so fast, I didn't even know who was shooting at who. And, we can have an argument about it. But people who hear it, they can decide from this whether they personally would like this film or not. Do they see it from his point of view or my point of view, depending on age or gender or, all sorts of different factors which, sort of affect your personal likings and dislikings in films. So you can do that better through a discussion between two people. This is the whole thing. You've got to be informative. What I don't like is just people who sort of rubbish films and say it's a lot of nonsense, because there's still a lot of other people around who do enjoy them and pay good money to see them and happy to do that. That's what I like to do in this show, the informative bit.
So I guess in respect, I guess you've never really given out a worst review?
I honestly, and I've tried to think, I can't think of one. No, I honestly simply can't. No, I like some of the silliest movies. I mean, I just like them because they're so damn silly.
I guess it'd be an equally difficult question then. What is your favourite movie?
Well, that has changed over the years and it's long before this. I mean, I'd say one of the biggest ones that I ever impressed me at the time was Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. I thought that was a fantastic film when I saw it back in Melbourne on a gigantic Cinerama screen there, and there's even one of the actors was there up on the stage before the film starts and all this sort of thing. This was fantastic, and Stanley Kubrick turned out to be an amazingly good film director of a wide variety of films. But he influenced science fiction films. Sci-fi films before that were not sort of highly respectable sort of things. They were just sort of B-grade things that you showed at Saturday matinees, But since then, it's after that you'd get Star Wars and Star Trek and all these other things that have come out since Space Odyssey, 2001: Space Odyssey. That to me is still one of the top films as far as I'm concerned. And of course there's lots of others once you start thinking. The last couple of years, I don't know. Haven't sorted it out yet.
Now, for film buffs, myself included, reviewing films for a career, for a lifelong passion, is a very interesting proposition. Do you have any tips or advice for people looking to get into the field?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think anybody who's keen on that sort of thing automatically does have a pretty good knowledge in their own head about films of now or over the last few years. It's like some of the young people I get in to help me with this show. I'm amazed, get some young woman, say in the 20s, but she, through a father or somebody, she knows virtually, name any film over the last 50 years. I'm not saying she's seen them all, but she knows them. She knows what they're about. You need to you've got to be a film buff and have that sort of knowledge in the back of your head there somewhere to do it properly. I'd say that's the main thing. Of course, it helps to work for a newspaper or something. Otherwise, why do you want to do a review for me on my show?
Well, that would be nice.
Okay, I'll keep you in mind. What do you like?
I'm a pretty eclectic film enjoyer. I do. I've always enjoyed mafia movies. So anything like mafia TV series, gangster movies, that kind of stuff. Addicted.
I shall keep you in mind. So everybody, stay tuned. You may find you on my show.
That is amazing. Well, Hans Petrovic, thank you very much for this.
Okay, pleasure.
Cool. Thank you.
Good.